Welcome to Post Game Podcast. I'm your host, June. And before I get into this featured player of the week, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube. And for your audio fix, make sure you're following us on all the aggregators. Those are platforms like YouTube Music, Pandora, what else? Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can hear a podcast, you can find us. Just type in Post Game Podcast FFSN in the search. Make sure you're following us. Make sure that notification bell is on. So when we drop content, you'll get an alert. Download those episodes. This player right here is one of my favorite players to watch. He was not a spectacular dunker. I don't think I ever seen him dunk. but and he wasn't, you know, just this athletic type of guard, but he was a strong guard that could shoot. I'm talking about none other than the microwave, Vinnie Johnson. Vinnie Johnson is one of my favorite players. He's from that bad boy era, and I don't think they'd have won a championship without his contributions. The way he played off the bench, he had the nickname of the microwave because uh, he when you want an instant offense, it didn't take him long to heat up. He got in the game and he did what he was supposed to do, and that was shoot. He's about 6'2". I don't know his weight, but he was like a bulldog out there. Um, if you're watching, look at the pic, like little shorts, just this guy came in and his job was to score, and he didn't disappoint. Off the bench, uh, he would come in and he just shoot. That was his job, shoot. Um, and I noticed in the title, I labeled him as a guard. Well, he could play point, he could play shooting guard. He didn't have a specific guard role. He came in and his job was to shoot. And like I said, he didn't disappoint. He played from 1981 to 1991. Um, uh, he played approximately 800 games. He scored over 10,000 points, close to 2,500 rebounds, uh, 26 over 2,600 assists, which is very, very that is shocking to me. I don't recall. Like I said, of all the times I've watched Vinnie Johnson, I've never seen him get an assist. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but he had 2,600 of them. So, maybe, I know I missed some, but he had over 723 steals, 215 blocks. Uh, he was a very crucial and integral part of that championship team, 1989 and 1990. Now, before that, though, you had all those teams that was building up to get there. So we had to go through Boston. Boston was one of them teams back then, and it was the beast of the East. But there was also teams like Milwaukee and Cleveland, and there were other teams you had to go through just to get to Boston. The Knicks were good. Washington Wizards were good back then. There were teams that, it took a little bit to get there. Milwaukee always had somewhat of a squad. So, I might be missing a couple, but you get my drift. So it not only did he play his integral part in 1988, 89, and 90, but years leading up to those championship teams where Detroit had to fight through the playoffs. Um, like I said, he was instant offense off the bench. Uh, and he had 984 regular season games, and he averaged about 12 points a game, 3 points, 3 rebounds, and assists a game. Like I said, you can look at that and say, oh, he didn't do nothing but score 12 points a game. But I'm telling you, when Detroit needed a bucket and he was in the game, he got that bucket. And there was a lot of games where in the playoffs that he got more than 12 when they needed him. And one of those games, I think it was the series versus Portland, the 1990 championship, where Detroit played a three-guard offense with Isaiah, Joe Dumars and Vinnie Johnson, and Vinnie Johnson ate. He ate. He got off the bench and he played a lot of crucial minutes with those two other guards. They had this 3-guard offense against Portland, which they had never done too much before, and he thrived. So, once again, my featured player of the week is Vinnie Johnson, the microwave. He was a bulldog that could shoot. He had a jumper. Like, he just scored, man. He just scored. Mid-range game, he knocked it down. He knocked it down. So, once again, subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube.
Get your leg back.
And that's the wrong outro. We got to get it right.